7-1 start. There will be a Game 6 in the ALCS tonight in Houston. The Astros lead a 3-2. Justin Verlander and the Astros beaten by the Yankees last night 4-1. JV giving up 2 homers in the first inning. Number 16, Michigan, visiting number Penn State tonight right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Kickoff is at 7:30. The Nittany Lions a 9-point favorite. Michigan State has a bye this week. Last night, Ohio State beating Northwestern 52-3. Lions and Vikings tomorrow at Ford Field, 1 p.m. to kickoff. Vikings favored by 2. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley cleared to play tomorrow against Arizona. Lions host the Giants a week from tomorrow. Pistons signed forward Trayshawn Thurman. They waived guards Craig Sword. Thurman averaged 8 points a game as a senior last year at the University of Nevada. Pistons open the regular season Wednesday, Indiana, right here on 97.1 The Ticket. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, Harry Glantz.
That's what we need, a little headbanging music to open up the show, Harvey. You like that.
That and some sunshine always works good for us.
It's beautiful. I'll say today, let's face it, could be the last good weekend. What about the trick-or-treaters for Halloween? What do we think about that?
It's going to be nice. We have plenty of nice weekends in the fall.
There we
Look
go.
Look who we got here. Lisa Lawson, the queen of all mortgages. Hey, Lisa, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
She's basically the Google in our office, right?
I went to her twice yesterday,
Google.
maybe more.
You just Google Lisa and you get the answer?
So is that my new nickname now,
That's
Google?
it. No, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to call you that. It's okay.
The encyclopedia.
There's one in every crowd.
Yep.
And Lisa, thanks for bringing in none other than Kathy Marsh from Realty Executives hometown. How you doing, Kath?
I'm great, and thanks for having me.
All right, we're all
Kathy
dressed in
was-
black here. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Bray. Hey, Kathy was so good on the show last time. We invited her back right away, so there's a lot of pressure on you today. What do you think?
That's okay.
I'm feeling good so far.
All right.
Well, Kathy, we talk all things residential, real estate, mortgages. You know, we always bring in appraisals and values and what's going on. So just to really tick things off here, I don't know, how about what's going on in your marketplace? What do you see going into? We talked about a couple weeks ago, going into this year's winter months versus maybe last year's.
Okay, well, really, it's going to be the same.
Oh, okay. I'm good
Sorry
with
to
that.
say, but
I'll take
I like
that.
it. It's rhythms, it's patterns, and that's what we're looking at. And so far, that's what we're seeing, the same pattern from last year. So it gets a little quiet, and then we go through the holidays, but there's still buyers, there's still sellers.
Yeah.
So since 2012, and Harvey always likes to remind me that this is the 8th year of a seller's market. 8th year of a very, very hot market. 8 very strong years. Last year at this time, we kind of cooled off going in from the late fall to the early winter. And then all of a sudden, through the springtime, things picked up rapidly again to have a phenomenal 2019. Well, we're not at the end of 2019 yet.
No.
Mortgage interest rates right now, everybody, they're the best they've been since 2011. So this is the 9th, it's been 9 years since rates have been this attractive. So couple that with still maybe a hot market going into the winter. No more activity, flat, up, down 5%. What are you thinking? Just flat.
Flat is what they're saying.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah. And I will tell you, like in Macomb County, I just have some statistics. I know
Good,
it's a
go
little
with it.
boring,
Love statistics.
but just for like the September from last year to this year, it did go up 8.8%. That's Macomb County. Oakland, last year, this month to this month though, it went up 9.1% in the medium sale price.
Yeah, that's great.
Wayne County, that actually went up to 13.1% from last year's September sales to this year September sales.
Okay. Well,
so the values are going up.
No reason to wait for next spring to buy a house when you might have a great opportunity right now, October through February.
Well, it's a great time because the buyer market kind of goes down a little bit. So if you are looking to buy a home before Christmas this year, this is a good time to do it because you can take a little bit more of an advantage.
So the competition for buying homes isn't there. The kids are in school.
Exactly.
Everybody's all settled in. If you have to buy a house and you're looking, now's a great time.
Yeah.
And sellers are motivated because anybody, and you're the real estate expert, I'm just a mortgage guy, the homes that are listed right now on the market, the sellers are motivated.
They are, yes. And some of them, maybe the houses are sitting a little bit longer. So it's a little bit more motivation for them to maybe take that real market value.
Yeah,
Which
move on
maybe
with
they
their
were
lives. Take the sale.
Maybe they were overpriced to begin with for the location, for the condition, that type of thing. We have to be realistic.
The price still rules the roost, right? I mean, there's nothing more important than having it priced properly.
Well,
A couple agents talked about last year and the last few years talked about maybe pricing it even lower and then generating a lot of a lot of buyers to the home and get those bidding wars going. You might not have that going into this winter market because, like you said, there's not as many buyers out there. But maybe just pricing it just right at market or a little bit nice, and everyone walks in and says, "This is way nicer than the house down the street." And now there's some excitement created, and now there's a little bidding war going on.
Absolutely. And you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? You don't have to show your house anymore.
That's right.
You don't have to clean your house anymore. You can relax and know that you're moving on, and you can have a peace of mind. And that's worth a lot. That's worth a lot too.
Yeah, as Harry mentioned, I mean, rates, this is like 1965 again. I mean, 54 years ago is where we saw rates like they are today. And, again, over the years, what decade you're in, the 70s, 80s, of course, the horror stories of the late 70s and 80s when rates were 3 times higher than what they are today. Could you imagine that on your payment? Literally, if you're paying $1,000 now, it could have been as high as $2,200, $2,300 just for the principal and interest portion.
But we're still buying them, though, and land contracts.
Yeah.
A lot of land contracts at that point in time. And now, I still see, it's funny, Harv, I still see a lot of land, not a lot, I still see a few land contracts that are still happening. There are plenty of reasons why people buy in a land contract. But all land contract is seller financing. The buyer doesn't take title till the land contract's fulfilled. So you own the house, but you don't have the title to the house. The title is still in the seller's name.
Yeah, we do refinance quite a few of those, Lisa. It's been really something that we love to do is getting those clients out there that are in situations like that. Maybe they can't get a mortgage right now. And we will talk about that, bankruptcy and foreclosure, and getting you back into the game.
Sometimes
Because
self-employed borrowers who write off all their income.
Right.
Also are another people who often use land contracts.
And they might need a year or two to get their mortgage or their paperwork together for their mortgage. So they do the land contract. It's nice for sometimes an older seller who needs the cash flow and doesn't need to net the $60,000 or $150,000 out of the house. They're okay with maybe taking a deposit of $10,000 to $20,000. It just gets them through, and they're okay accepting those monthly payments because the cash flow is nice.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes they can count it as income. It can offset other debt. There's a lot of other reasons to do it. But it's a win-win for everybody.
But the rules are still the same when you go get a mortgage when you're refinancing somebody out of a land contract. We still need to verify tax returns, your job, pay stubs, assets. If you bought the land contract within the last year, we still need to see where you got the down payment money from.
That's right.
Yeah, because it works just like a purchase.
That's right. So we still need it. It's just a different way somebody sold you the house, not what the mortgage qualification process is all about. And people are out there driving around and go, what are you guys talking about land contracts for?
Yeah.
Well, because we get them, because we still see them.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that need to know that might have a land contract that are thinking, well, they can never get a mortgage.
And the truth is they probably can, but they probably need to get in front of, Elisa, get in front of a real loan officer, sit down and talk about getting set up for that mortgage, whether it be documenting those payments, getting, like you said, Lisa, getting your tax returns in order.
Yep.
If you're writing off all the income and your CPA is not having that discussion with you, I'm shocked. I just still do talk with quite a few people that sort of play that game with me. Hey, Harvey, no, I do make over $200,000. I'm like, well, your tax return's only showing 20, as if they didn't have that conversation with their actual CPA. But hey, that's what you pay them for. You're paying the CPA to write off your deductions.
Your liability, right? Your tax liability.
No
Absolutely.
one wants to pay those heavy duty taxes, but when you go
Right.
get a mortgage, that could be a problem.
And then you say, well, great, you now make $20,000. And that's
No
beginning to
matter
qualify.
how you slice that answer and question,
Right.
the answer's still no.
Right.
You cannot get a mortgage.
Right.
Oh, boy, we hate saying that, but sometimes it does happen.
Sometimes it happens, but a lot of times we can dissect those tax returns, and some of those things can get added back in. Like we can add depreciation back in, and depletion can get added back in. One-time costs can get added back in. So you need to work with an expert so they can correctly decipher these tax returns and extrapolate all the income possible to get you qualified.
Yeah, but also, we'll give a pre-approval out, and we give a bona fide pre-approval. So what happens is this. Sometimes this happens too, and I'm bringing this up because this is real life. We'll give a pre-approval out to you, and we go through the process of re-verification and making sure that everything they told us was true. So we go ahead, we go on face value, we get documents, and then you know what? Sometimes things change. Mm-hmm. They switch jobs. They bought a car. They're on commission. They don't make as much money in a different way than what they had told us before, and then what we thought we verified. People say, well, what do you mean what you thought you verified? I thought you verified it. Yeah, we did verify it. Then when we sent in the verification of employment, guess what happened? Okay?
Right.
They switched positions, and now the majority of their income comes from what?
Bonuses, commission.
Bonuses and commissions. Okay? Well, that is in the less than 1% of the time that we have to go and tell somebody, you know what? Things changed. How come you didn't tell me? I mean, how come you didn't tell me you were on a salary and then 2 weeks ago you went on commission?
Yeah.
Things change. All right, we'll talk about maybe the difference between a pre-approval and actual approval, because we'll take it even further for you, and that way you turn yourself into a cash buyer. 248-539-9797. We come back. All your calls.
Detroit's sports station.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 916. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation and MLS 2289. Always give us a call here in the studio, 248-539-9797. We're going to take all your calls. Got a ton of open lines. And, of course, Kathy Marsh is here, Realty Executives. Kathy, we talked about some of these different things even last night, and thanks for taking my call late last night. Covering yourself, the relationship, that real estate relationship. I know Harry was going to touch on it too this morning. It seems like it's going away. Well, I got a little warning out there to some of the real estate agents. If you're buying leads from these third-party companies, Harry, they're not going to have jobs.
Yeah, we talked
That's
about
your
it a
business
lot.
platform? Buying Zillow leads?
Yeah, I don't get it. Here's the deal, right? Zillow has a real estate company. Zillow has a mortgage company.
Not really good.
And it goes like this. You're feeding them, right? You're feeding them. Now, they want you to believe it's a quid pro quo. Look that one up in the past couple of weeks, all right? They think they're providing leads, and then you're going to get the loan, or you're going to get the transaction, you're going to make your commission that you bought the lead from. Here's the deal, all right? The only people that are making money in the long run are the ones that are selling you whatever they're selling you.
Right.
So we as mortgage people out there, and I know there are people driving around, they listen to the show, oh, that Harry's been on the radio, he thinks he knows what he's doing. All right. You're buying leads from somebody that's doing your loans.
Correct.
Okay? This is what you're doing. So why are you buying leads from them? All right?
Harry,
why
they're-
are realtors buying leads and
They're feeding.
Zillow's selling real estate? They have a real estate company.
So, in other words, say
Right.
goodbye to your buyer. So you sell the
Right.
person a house, you get paid now. They're
Here's the
not
way
coming
this
to you
works.
next time.
I don't care.
Correct.
It's 2019. The
down.
principles of business are the same, whether it was 1928, 2018, 1968. It's about relationships. Those who have the relationship wins. How you treat people, you win. All right. People call you up because guess what? You took care of them and their family. So if you're relying on these leads to come down like manna from heaven on your desk and you open it up and there's envelopes full of money, doesn't work that way. You need, how about going out and working, establishing the relationship, and you know what? That's where it comes from. Taking care of people always comes back to you. What, you're going to buy leads and you think, come on, you can't sit on the phone and possibly call all these leads.
The title companies are telling me here, they're
Costs you
showing
too much money.
Closing agents are telling me, hey, Harvey, I'm showing up to closings. I'm introducing the real estate agents to the buyers. They might have met their showing agent or someone in their team. They don't even know each other. And what we're saying here,
weird.
let's to bring this, sort of bring it full circle, is okay, they might not come to you next time because they don't want to pay 6% commission. Do you ever think of that? That it might get discounted. You might just become a number. And folks, you're being fooled.
There's nothing like the
and you're-
personal service aspect. Kathy, in your business, it's only about the personal service, right?
Correct. Yes.
That's it. It's only about your relationship with your client.
Yes. Walk them through the process. Talk to them. Get to know them. Find out what they like, what they dislike. It gets very personal.
You're also-
you're in the
Right.
car sometimes with them. Sometimes they're driving. Sometimes you're following. Whatever. But
But they
you really
can-
it gets intimate. You get to know their kids.
You're there
their
because you
dog.
add value.
But they can.
Well, exactly. I'm talking them through the whole process and reminding them through the whole process.
But
They
this
can
is the
count on
difference
you.
between a hands-on realtor talking about adding value. I know for a fact that you helped somebody with the dog situation when they moved.
Oh yeah, we talked about.
And but that was heartbreaking to the person who was moving because they couldn't, right?
Well, it was a couple. Well,
Right.
you know the couple.
Yes,
and she's getting ready to have that baby any minute now. I
so
can't wait to see the new
long
baby.
story short, she was moving, but the dog couldn't go with it. And this so
The new buyer took
Right.
the dog, and I know I was telling Harry about it.
Because-
and Harvey, I was telling you about
because
it. You were
she
like,
spoke to the new buyer and she has this relationship. And so here she's not only closed their loan, but she's rehomed a family pet. Now we know where the family
love
pet
the
was.
pet.
They love the pet.
The young woman
It's
loves
adding
her
that
pet.
extra service. It's keeping your ears open, knowing what people really need.
I don't care what industry you're in. If
You don't do
sell
that with Zillow.
machine parts, if you're selling whatever you're selling, it doesn't matter. The top producers,
Yes.
and it's a fact. Look it up. The top producers in any industry have the personal and best relationships with their clients.
Amen.
Whatever account it is. If you are an advertising exec,
Right.
okay, and you have, pick one out. I like Nabisco. Okay, so If you're the advertising exec in charge of the Nabisco account, you better have that great relationship with Nabisco, whoever's in charge over there. If you're selling things to a department store, you better have a great relationship with that buyer who's buying your wares.
Because they can do it on the cheap, and they can get rid of you quickly.
But they count. It's all about the relationship.
Exactly.
And that's what it is. So don't ever discount that.
Kathy, we also threw in there, we were talking about closing a house. Again, 248-539-9797. If you're buying or selling a house, you must get in touch with us. We'll set you up with these great people. We like working with you. It's hands-on. It's one-on-one. You can call us 24 hours a day. You're not dealing with people that close at 5 o'clock. Kathy, you brought something up, and I was like, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. There's even some additional insurances. You're closing on this wonderful house. It's your hard-earned money. You went through 30 days with the mortgage and the real estate. You're at the closing table. You don't want to, as a real estate agent, get a call 2-3 months later there's a flood in the basement. So let's talk about a little
10
things.
days later.
Or 10 days later, there could be a problem. So, yeah, even additional insurances.
Yeah.
You got to learn about this. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, that did just recently happen to a client that Lisa and I both worked with. Shelby, I hope you're listening. And Sam, you too. Mila. Anyway, so they had a flood in their basement within a week. So luckily for them, they had the extra insurance. It's guaranteed replacement costs, limited water backup, and sub pump discharge. So what happened was they had about $5,000 worth of damage, but they got a check for 10.
There you go.
And so, but they also just recently upped it to 20. So that was a $10,000 coverage.
Yeah.
So really, you're going to pay for insurance anyways, right? So you're going to pay about $950 depending on the size of the house. I mean, obviously it varies. So their insurance has gone up just a little bit to get that extra coverage. And what an amazing difference.
I mean, a rider can be $30, $60 a year.
You got to have it.
A year.
People,
You have
get
to have it.
Please
People-
get it.
Why
Call
wouldn't
your
you- why
insurance
wouldn't you
company.
want
Because
it?
this is what happens. People call in and say, I'm trying to get the lowest mortgage payment. Insurance is part of the payment. Give me the cheapest policy possible.
Okay,
Because
and then what happens?
And then you
something
file a claim
happens,
and you
right.
realize you don't have coverage and now you
Okay.
have to come out of
Yeah.
pocket.
So it kind of goes like that when your house is in a floodplain. Sometimes we run into floodplains.
This wasn't in a
even in a
floodplain,
floodplain,
yeah.
yeah.
I
But
understand
Okay.
that, but I'm just saying if
Yes.
it is, why wouldn't you want flood insurance? It goes like this. Let me ask you this question. It segues into another related part of what you do. Home warranties. Do you love home warranties? Do you believe in home warranties? I mean, look at that. Somebody's stove breaks down and you have a home warranty. Guess what? They come out, they can't fix it. You get a whole new stove.
Home warranties are good for some people. They make sense depending on the age of the different things in the home.
Yeah.
Depending on, maybe there are people that know a lot of people in the business that can do a lot of things for them, or they have
they're handy themselves.
they're handy
They can
themselves.
fix it.
So
Then they
maybe
might not need a warranty.
So,
yeah.
but a home warranty.
But if
is
I'm buying a house and I'm a young couple, what does a home warranty cost me up front?
sometimes nothing because the seller might pay for it. So
Right.
maybe $500
Yeah.
Okay.
for the year, and then it covers
So it's an
items in
annual
the house.
policy.
Yep, and it'll cover items in the house. And what it does is it will cover some costs to replace an item, or they'll cover costs to
You pay
fix an item.
the last one we were using. I noticed there was $100 deductible, and the family had a
there's
situation where they, you don't know the dishwasher works. So just any of the folks out there thinking that they're looking at homes today. Yeah, you're not in there. You're looking at the home. You're going to make an offer. I guarantee you didn't turn on the dishwasher. You just didn't. Something like that. Now, dishwashers are running really good quality runs, $500 to $1,000. You can't really buy a cheapie anymore. But right, if that's broken down, you just bought the house, you don't have a lot of extra money, you don't want to come up with $800. You pay the $100. You got to call the warranty company. They come up. They're not going to fix a 20-year-old dishwasher.
No.
You go ahead, you pay the $100 deductible, and they
But
give you a
Kathy,
check to buy a new one.
Like you said, that could be part of the transaction. You go ahead and the seller could provide a home warranty. So you don't know what goes into that transaction. That it's all about setting up the buyer and seller for success. If you're the real estate agent and you say, listen, offer a home warranty, this just might sweeten the deal, right? And then the buyer's covered. I love that.
Well,
I love that.
With the company that I'm with, America, actually, it's America Preferred. I have it right here.
Yeah, that's a big popular company.
yeah,
There's a
it's
lot
a
of
big one.
different
My
ones out
sellers
there.
automatically at my office, they automatically get covered.
Oh,
It
great.
doesn't cost my sellers, and it's limited coverage, but they do get a coverage.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And also, if you list a house with me or buy a house through me, we have a truck, a company truck.
Oh, yeah.
A
So
moving truck?
now this weekend, I have clients that are moving out. It wasn't available, so we're going to figure out something else for
But
them.
within reason,
But
they
I
could
just
move out another
recently
day.
drove
yeah.
it. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to drive it. My husband actually went to Port Huron and picked it up, and so he followed me back home, and then it sat in my driveway, and then I'm like, I'm going to take it because I was going to a conference at a church. So I drove it. So I drove it around my neighborhood to see if I felt comfortable. And I'm like, I can do this.
Was this a 40-foot trailer? What do you got going on
I don't
here?
even know what is it.
It's
I don't know.
hey, free moving truck.
I guess it's a 40-foot trailer. But anyways, I drove it. It was fun.
All right, we're going to get into some do's and don'ts, buying and selling homes, making it fun here. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
$1,000 signing bonus.
Join 97.1 The Ticket's Mike Sullivan at Greektown Casino Hotel for another season of sports trivia in the Fringe Bar. Come out each Thursday and show off how much you know about sports trivia with some great prizes, all from Greektown Casino Hotel. Must be 21 to gamble.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by the LaFontaine Automotive Group, the family deal.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:30. If you're just joining us, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Hey, give Ronnie J and our whole staff a call. He's at the office, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank. That's 1-800-569-7283. Well, we got some people ticket texting, too. You can always definitely give us a call, a ticket text there.
So yeah,
I don't even give that out.
I've got a comment on the ticket text.
Oh, it's 97136. There you go.
Yeah, I've got a comment on that. It goes like this. We're not slamming Zillow, what we're doing, and we punch in and we look up property values as a guide on Zillow all day, every day.
We use it a little bit.
So that's what we do, okay? But here's the thing. if your competitor, whatever industry you're in, if you have a competitor that is in the same industry, are you going to give them business? That's just the question. I mean, if you're good with giving your competition business, that's fine. I just don't believe that in the mortgage and real estate industry, we should be going ahead and feeding the people that want to take our jobs. It's just as simple as that for me.
That's it.
And guess what? That's my opinion. I can be wrong on it. Call up, talk to me about it. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm good with it.
248-539-9797. Hey, let's segue this where we wanted to go this morning. The do's and the don'ts and things you can really do to set you up. Lise, I'll be honest. Look, we've been all slammed in the mortgage industry over the last 3 months. Really, things took off. Rates, thanks to Brexit, thanks to an election coming up next year, thanks to the bond market. Interest rates are really good now. Things get a little busy. You know, I spoke to one of my friends about getting a mortgage. He was selling his house, and what was he going to do after he sold it? Then he's going to buy this one. And boy, I didn't remind him enough, man. He moved the money around like, no names, of course. I love him to death. He moved the money around like it was, I've never seen anything like it. And it's my fault. It's my fault. We can't remind clients enough of the things not to do and the things to do to get prepared.
Right. Biggest thing is, if I can give a pointer out there, especially if agents are listening as well, please do not give money orders as earnest money deposit, because once they take a cash, they take $1,000 out of the bank, but the guy wants to pocket another $100 because he needs it. It's the weekend. So he takes $1,100 out. Then he goes to Western Union and buys 2 earnest money or money orders for $500 each. And then I'm supposed to track this. I said, the minute you liquefy it, it's done. So I would say, there's all these little tidbits, things that people should know. And hopefully their real estate agent and their loan officer working together, explaining as they go. These are the things that are going to make this a very smooth transaction for you. Write a personal check or get a certified check, from a withdrawal from the bank. That's all you got to do. But, there's a lot of, misinformation out there in regards to getting approved for a loan and what you can and can't do. And yes, you should not be moving any large sums of money around.
That's even just on the fund situation, right? We talk about funds. You have to understand that, right? The rules are set up, and the Patriot Act really controls a lot of it.
Correct.
The underwriters and everything's set up so we're all playing on an equal playing field. And that's the key, is that the rules are the same for everybody.
Correct.
So these loans are being sold through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and Ginnie Mae and the USDA and VA. So they want to set it up so that everyone has equal
You
play.
sound like that commercial.
Boy. Hey, but definitely, consult with the mortgage people.
Right.
I have a guy coming in today even, and maybe he's listening on the way in to meet with me today. And, we're getting them prepared. We're putting a plan together. This is real stuff. And this conversation that I'm going to have with them today, I'm also going to have to go back and, reiterate the whole conversation again in 2 months or 3 months when he gets closer to buying a house. So we're going to get his credit together. We're going to get his funds together. But at least you and I, we talk about this. All of a sudden, credit. You're buying a house, you're in the middle of this, and you want to go out and buy that furniture. It's a don't. It's a do not
same
do.
Same as cash is not same as cash.
Okay. Not if you're getting a mortgage, right? So let's explain that a little.
So, Kathy, we have to, I'm going to tell you this right now. We pull credit when? When do we pull credit?
The minute somebody says, hey, we want to get pre-approved.
Correct. So we pull it up front, and then what do we do at the back end of the transaction?
Credit refresh.
Usually credit refresh, or depending how long it takes to find a house, a report's only good for 4 months.
Right.
So if it takes you 5 months to find a house, your credit's getting pulled again.
So, Kathy, we pull it at the beginning of the transaction, and then when we're about to close, we pull it again. We refresh the credit because of why? Because we want to see if anybody went out and bought those 5 new cars that they wanted, the furniture.
Increased balances on cards.
Exactly. So we want to see. And you know what? From time to time, the credit scores end up going down.
Right.
Which puts people, it could negate the entire transaction or puts them in a different program where they might need to come up with more money down. So everybody out there, we pull it up front and then we refresh it right before we go to close. So that's, and everybody does that.
Correct.
Everybody. It's not just the capital mortgage funding thing. It's an industry-wide regulation. It's what we have to do.
Well, a couple of deadly sins we always call it is the do's and the don'ts. But more importantly, when we're talking about funds, again, if you have a clean file, a clean account, you're going to enjoy your transaction. It's going to go smooth. Everyone involved is going to get along better because people won't have deadlines in time because you're going to be able to put that agreement together and close in a timely manner. Yeah. Hey, look, somehow, some way, I'm closing one in 18 business, not even 18 total days. And it was a little messy. So everyone's got a little bit different situation out there. Hey, we want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you on whatever your angles are. But the holiday season's coming up. And that always leads to the credit conversation. And of
Right.
course, what people start doing is, and we mentioned it, same as cash, no payments for 12 months. Well, if you owe $5,000 to the furniture store and it shows up as zero payment, we use at least 1%. That can, again, as we mentioned, those are the type of things that can throw your qualifications
Correct.
right out the door. So get your ducks in a row again, whether it be credit or funds to close. Sit down and really digest all that information.
Right.
Last, if I can just throw that in there, Lise, too, is sometimes we have some people that have that cash, that mattress money. Okay, well, good. Maybe you're going to buy a house next spring. That money right now could go in the bank. So
Correct.
you can start funneling your cash savings at home. Again, you don't want to definitely have FinCEN, the financial board coming after you, but you want to put some of those the funds back into account. No, not large deposits,
Right.
but a couple $1,000s each week or whatever. Put that money in there, season your funds, and now you become a real strong buyer. You want to say something, Kathy,
No,
about that?
I was just chuckling about the way you just said that.
Is it a nice way to
Mattress
say
money.
it? Well, again, the holidays are coming up, and right after the holidays is where families are like, "Oh, I wish I would have bought that house." So maybe prepare yourself this
Buy
year.
a house for your family for the holidays.
How
so
cool
next
could
year you'll
that
be in your
be?
new house.
And how about today being? Isn't today Sweetest Day?
Today is Sweetest Day.
So,
Okay.
like, what do lovebirds do? They nest.
Right.
So you know what? Get your honey a nice house. I mean,
Get her a new nest.
I'm telling you, women love that, right?
They do. Get her a
love
new
our
nest.
homes.
We're going
A
to
home
upgrade.
is where the heart is.
Or downsize. I mean, whatever you need
Yeah.
to do.
I feel like I'm on The View.
No, but
Yeah, why not?
seriously.
What are we talking? Guys, help me
We
out. What are we
love-
talking
no,
about
you
here?
got- homeowners are happier.
Yes.
Statistically, homeowners
That's
are
true.
happier and healthier.
Amen. 248-539-9797. Lisa, FHA came out with something pretty interesting. Way back in the day, we were able to do these spot approvals on FHA condominiums.
Yep.
A lot of our borrowers out there are FHA. They have to go FHA.
Sure.
No problem buying a single family residence up to 4 units. That's no problem.
Right.
But if you're looking at a condominium and you're an FHA borrower, maybe because you had the bankruptcy just discharged just 2 years ago,
Right,
whatever
or
the situation.
foreclosure. Everyone's got, people have situations, but yes, correct. So FHA recently brought back spot approvals last month, meaning an entire complex does not have to be FHA approved in order to get an FHA loan in that complex. So that's
Right.
really a big deal.
It is.
It really
That's
is.
a really big deal. So a lot of people were looking to purchase, maybe found the perfect condo, couldn't go conventional, and that complex couldn't be approved any other way. Now we have the opportunity to at least go in and check, all these spot
At
approvals.
least association fees are pretty heavy duty, and that's the thing is, so sometimes families have to go FHA because they need the higher ratios. They simply don't have under 43 or 45 back end ratios with more typical ratios on the high side. Sometimes you'll see a conventional loan again approved with up to 47. That means 47% of your gross monthly income is already being shelled out to the
Right.
house and everything else. So FHA sometimes is a great alternative to that. Again, you might have two borrowers, we can't use or two people in the home, can't use one of the incomes. And now they can go FHA. FHA loan limits, you think they're for poor people? No, they're not for low income. $314,827. We're talking about some really nice condominiums in town.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't even necessarily have to be a condo. We're talking about condos now, but FHA over 300,000. That's a huge, beautiful home for most people
definitely.
in this area. So, like I said, people always think FHA is for first-time home buyers. That is not what FHA stands for. But I get that all the time. They're like, "Oh, I already used my FHA loan, when I bought my house 20 years ago." Okay. So first, FHA is the Federal Housing Administration. You can use that loan for every house that you buy if that
That's right.
needs to be your situation. Everyone's got a different situation, but absolutely. It
Right.
does have to be your primary residence, though.
There you go.
Can't
There's-
buy it for investment properties, but
Yeah, a couple different angles on
Right.
that.
And you can only have one FHA loan at a time.
well,
Yes.
technically not, but there's a lot of stipulations to it. So if you get moved with your job transfer and they move you out of state and you have equity in your current residence,
Well,
then
generally speaking,
yes, generally
you
speaking,
you can't.
see, this is
go
the
ahead
nerd in
and
me, Harry.
start-
I'm the guideline nerd.
I understand
She
that, but you
Googled
just
that.
can't. So you can't get around the guidelines where you're going to buy a
Correct.
house and then you're going to go ahead and then you're going to say you're going to live in another house but buy that one FHA and then end
Right.
up renting the previous house out.
No.
There are certain things.
Right.
Yes, job
Circumstances.
transfers. You work for the government. There are certain things that can be done, but the vast
And it all has to be
majority-
documented.
That's right. The vast majority you can only have one
Correct.
FHA loan.
All right,
Correct.
housing affordability actually hit a 32-month high, would you believe it, according to Black Knight Mortgage Monitoring Report. The 2019 decline in interest rates is the number one reason that we've really picked up. It seemed like it was just sort of a regular year, a real strong year. 2019 has been fantastic, but a huge boost here, definitely in the last 3 months as we see more and more buyers coming out of the woodwork here. And I don't know, shows like this, maybe it's just some interest. Maybe they just got the letter from the landlord saying, hey, no more $1,200 a month. Now I'm at $1,650.
Right.
And now it's time to buy the house. Stop paying someone else's mortgage. Find out how you can be a homeowner.
Good
Again,
point.
Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. It costs you nothing to call. It costs you nothing to get approved.
Nothing.
And as Harry talked about earlier, pre-approvals versus approval, we will take you through the entire process. You can have a 100% approved mortgage, only contingent upon the appraisal and the title work. So as simple as that to get into a house. We'll get a little more technical when we come back. That music says we had a little quick break here. Hang on the radio, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. That was a quick break, wasn't it? Well, get out there and enjoy. What a gorgeous day out there. Again, we're in the midst of fall. Do all those winterization type things are coming up. We were talking a little bit about flooding in the basement and things like that. Yeah, but maybe it's a good time to you can empty out your water. I don't know if anyone actually does that. They just let them rot.
I do it.
They don't.
They don't. They let them rot.
I do.
But whatever
You're
it is,
supposed to.
you're supposed to clean the filters.
year.
Again, you're turning the heat on. You're
Make
doing
sure
the
gutters are
winterization.
cleaned out, people. Leaves are going to fall.
Boy, I keep saying them because I got to think of all my to-do list
Yeah.
today, right? I'm definitely going to cut the lawn, but yeah, why not throw in cleaning the gutters and everything else? At least get those gutter guards. But a lot of things you can do for home maintenance, Kathy. It's fun to buy a house. It's fun to buy a house and a year later feel like confident that you made all the right decisions also. But one of the things that we also see here in the last couple of years is uncapping of property taxes. We've had so many young families and even buyers that are moving, they're transitioning from a home that they lived in for 20 or 30 years, and now they're moving into a new home. The taxes are groovy at first. They see what they are. They're paying them. It's built in their mortgage. And then the house gets reassessed. And it's a surprise party. So it's been a good opportunity for some families now to offset the higher property taxes after their home has been reassessed. So again, if you did close in the last 2 years, and even in the last 12 months, I got a couple, their clients, there might be at 4 3/4, 4 5/8. Although I can't save you a ton of, maybe you get 4%, maybe your interest rate's in the high threes, maybe that savings isn't dramatic. But it's good. It's good. I did one
Better than no savings.
Yeah, I did one yesterday. Again, loan amounts differentiate. However, I did one yesterday. It was about $72. But I know they haven't reassessed his taxes yet. And I said, hey, what if you don't sign up and take advantage of $70 a month savings? That's let's say it's $900 a year. If I call you up next year here, your old line, and say, hey, I got $900 here waiting for you.
If you lay a check on my desk at the end of every year for $900, I'm taking it.
You're going to take it. Now, Harry, if you don't, and then the next year I call and you don't take that one, and now the next year you don't take it.
It just cost me $1,800.
It's going to add up real quickly. And a great way to save a little bit of money is consider that refinance for not just, hey, how much am I going to save right now? But
Down the
really
road.
down the road. Yeah,
The
it's
other
a long-term
thing,
situation.
people-
A real life situation, Lisa, goes like this. All up and down the Woodward corridor, you're seeing in Macomb County, there's infill building going on. So what does that mean? They're tearing down existing homes and they're building bigger homes that eventually are going to get reassessed.
For more money.
And what happens is that the taxes on that property were $3,000, right? $3,200, $3,500.
Now they're going to be $7,000.
Now when they get reassessed, they go up $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. So what that does to a payment, when you initially closed, you were $400, $500 less than you were. So your escrow account gets readjusted. You're going to get the letter in the mail that says what? Your payment is going up $500 a month starting November 1. Okay? This can be an issue. So this is when you call us and we say, hey, listen, rates are lower. We closed you last year at 4 3/4. Rates now are a lot lower. Maybe we can go ahead and normalize the escrow account. Go ahead and take care of that. But people say, but Harry, you're rolling that into my mortgage balance. You're going to have to pay it anyways. These are taxes that you can't get around.
Right.
At least
This
your
is good,
payment,
yeah.
and I just did it, your payment will stay the same.
Right.
Okay?
You're
and this
paying
is what
right.
happens. But that's because your taxes have gone up on the reassessment from that house was there 50 years at $2,000, $3,000 a year, and now it's going to $8,000, $9,000.
I really like to let my buyers know that is definitely going to happen.
Correct.
And have them ask the loan officer to do the math for them. Because I know it's going to happen. And for some people, that's going to get really tight.
Well,
Yeah.
I want them to really have their eyes open on what they're getting into.
whether it be the loan officer, again, if you're out there looking in, whatever the city of Ann Arbor could be, it could be Lansing, anywhere here. We do mortgages everywhere. You can call that municipality and say, hey, where am I looking at? I'm going to purchase a house. You're working with an agent today. You're going to go see 3 or 4
Right.
homes. Okay, Monday morning, let's call City Hall, get the treasurer on the phone and say, hey, look, I'm looking at this price range between 300,000 and 400,000, roughly in this neighborhood. What don't I know about? They gladly will give you that number and give you a really close estimate. Whether it be, some of my clients, my friends. I had a buddy who was, he goes, I don't want to pay these 24,000 taxes in Birmingham. So he bought it. It was 12, and now he's at 17. A little bit of a surprise party, a little bit more than they wanted to bite off, maybe. So you never know.
Right.
But you can make that extra call, whether it be to your loan officer or just we do the same thing. We find out what the millage is, and sometimes these are going to change. A city will jump in right away and say, "Hey, not only is there a millage attached to that house, there's a road assessment
I was going
attached
to say
to the
additional
house."
assessment, lighting assessments, all different trash assessments, garbage assessments, repaving assessment. So this is what title work helps with, by the way, when everyone says, why do we get title?
But you know what? Now that we're just talking about this, it really is a good idea to have the buyer do it. That way they remember. when they put their hands to that plow, they're going to remember that phone call.
Yeah.
Because you can tell them, and then they easily forget.
Yeah.
Because, you get so excited about what's happening, you easily forget. Or maybe you just decide, I'm going to put that under the carpet.
Right. And
I
deal
don't
with
wanna
it in a
think about
year.
that.
Well, there's elections that come up all the time, and yeah,
Right.
you'll see the proposals are out there.
Yeah.
They're going to be. You're going to see them if you're a new homeowner moving to a new community, and all of a sudden the community may want to build a new community center, and whether or not they're utilization of their current high school swimming
Right.
pools and stuff, they might want to do things that make the city nicer, like Waterford, for example. I would throw it out, and it didn't pass the last time. There was enough people that said, "Hey, you know what? We're okay right now.
We don't want a higher tax, right?
Right, but on the other hand, yeah, let's put it into the school. Let's put it into the police and fire departments. That's nice to have strong police and fire departments in your community and the infrastructure for the city itself. So lots of reasons, lots of knowledge. You can't click a button. You can't push a button and get the right answer. You're dealing with strangers. If you're giving your information away, I think I can get in trouble for this, Harry. Maybe I
No,
can.
don't wait. First of all, what did your mom tell you about strangers?
Don't talk to them.
Don't talk to strangers,
Yeah,
man.
aren't you getting
Come on
robo?
now.
How is it you get robo calls and you hang up on them instantly? Yeah, you'll talk to a stranger or a complete
Yeah.
stranger.
And you'll give your credit card number over the phone.
Anyways,
What is wrong
So let me
with
throw
that?
Credit Karma under the bus. I don't know what they got going on there. They're giving away something about your credit scores. It's not it's a consumer credit report. It's not the real anchovy. It's
Right.
not everything. You need to know. What do you think they're really doing? They're soliciting you to sell your information to
Correct.
the next bozo, next stranger.
Correct.
You're a sucker. Stop being a
And if they're not
fool.
soliciting to an individual, they're selling your information to companies. I mean, it's all about data.
I need to know what it is, though. Do you want to talk to strangers or don't you want
Right.
to talk?
But people all the time, Harvey, how many times do you get this phone call? I pulled my credit through Credit Karma. It says I'm 700, but when you pulled it, it said
Yeah,
said
you
it was
ruined it.
right. You ruined it. You dropped it 50 points because now it's only 650.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's not
work
how
that
it
way.
works,
It
right?
doesn't work that way.
But Credit Karma uses their own scoring models that are scored differently than the true mortgage report, the tri-month reports that we have to use for qualification. And they do that on purpose because they want to sell leads. They want to sell your information, whether they're selling it to your credit card company so they can provide you with a quote unquote free credit score. They're selling it direct to consumers. They sell it to lead generations, all different
they sell
types.
it to other lead generation
Yeah.
companies that sell it for mortgage purposes.
Correct.
So when we pull your credit, automatically
There's
you're going to
trigger
get a
leads,
call,
yeah.
you're going to get an email, something happens. It's not because we do it, it's because that's the credit bureau selling your information.
Called
It
a trigger
happens.
lead.
Okay, in the mail, how many mass mailers do you get that you've qualified for this and that, and this credit card and everything? All of your information is being input into a database and it's being sold. All right, so this is why it's very important, as we talked about earlier in the show, the relationship
Yeah.
that you have. Know the people that you're doing business with. All right?
Right.
And that doesn't mean you don't check them out. Trust but verify. You've heard that
Correct.
a million times. Trust somebody, but verify what they're telling you is accurate. It's disseminating accurate versus inaccurate information.
Correct.
We live in a society, here's my soapbox, that right now, just because you read something or somebody tells you something, it must be true.
Right.
No, please verify that information, okay? And we don't mind being verified.
No, not at all.
Let's
Hey,
go.
Lise, how about buying a house? How easy it is right now, though. Let's talk about it.
Sure.
Most of the young people out there are doing a great job. They're
Yes.
working. Unemployment's at these all-time lows.
Yeah.
60-year low unemployment figures. People are working and making money.
Yeah.
If you got good credit, it's not that hard to have a couple, 2 or 3 good accounts. You can call us up. We can clean it up if you're a little messy.
Yeah.
But Lise, you got
I
zero.
love cleaning up credit.
Zero down USDA loans.
Yeah.
We got zero down VA for all our hardworking veterans
Yeah.
out there that already serve the
Down
country.
payment assistance for those that qualify.
We got a whole bunch of DPA programs,
There's
including the MISTA programs
there's
that are
MISTA,
rocking.
There's Macomb County has its own program. There's IDA programs. There's multiple programs out there and available. But, all of them have their own little overlay. So if
Yeah.
you qualify, we'll hook you up.
Yeah,
know?
you got, how about USDA loans?
Yeah.
Anywhere but really in the heart of the Tri-County. Every
Right.
other, and even the outskirts of the
Like where I
Tri-County.
live.
Yeah, even
In the boondocks.
Yeah, you're not even there, but where are you? Well, you're 26. But is that a USDA area? Yeah, just
Yeah.
north of you. It's right there.
It's right there.
So you can even move to northern Macomb County. You can move to northern Oakland County, Washtenaw, Livingston, and Genesee. If you're further out than that, I don't know your county yet, but I will. But you definitely
Clair.
qualify.
St. Clair.
St.
yeah.
Clair County is always rocking. So
Okay, I have to say something
Sneak it in.
because I have to say this because we're doing a buyer seminar, Lisa
Oh, yeah?
and I.
Yeah.
And we're looking to do it in November. We were waiting for the conference room. It's a brand new building where I'm working at now.
Yeah.
And it's the downstairs is almost completed and it's going to be a rockin' conference room and it's in Shelby Township, 22 in Hayes. Lisa and I are doing the seminar, buyer seminar. We are going to hook you guys up.
What's the date on that? You guys penciled in yet?
Mid-November. We don't have the exact
All right,
date.
we'll
because
announce
We got to
it.
get the clearance. I
Yes.
got to get occupancy of the
Yeah.
building. So,
Okay.
you know construction.
770-2248. Text me. Call me. Let me know you want to come.
All right, call Capital Mortgage Funding all week long. We'll set you up with these great seminars we got coming up.
Yep.
Always can do one-on-one meetings with us at Capital Mortgage. And that music says we got to go. So I want to thank Kathy Marsh, always Realty Executives Hometown. Kathy, you're awesome.
Thank you for
Fantastic on
having
there.
me.
The great Lisa Lawson for always joining us. For Harry Glanz, I'm Harvey Free. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Go Blue.